Hey folks, we are here doing another one of our application videos brought to you by Go Hunt Insider. If you want all this great information in more detail, great draw odds, just all kinds of great things, sign up for Insider using promo code RANDY, and Go Hunt will put $50 of credit in your gear shop. And today we're talking about Montana deer and Montana elk, the state I live in, so I don't apply here as a non-resident. But this video is about your rules that you have to follow as a non-resident. First thing we always talk about, right? Deadline, April 1st, 2023. Don't miss the deadline. Now, if you miss the deadline and you're into purchasing preference points, and we'll get into that later of why maybe you don't want to spend that $100 on a preference point, you can do that July through September after the draw is over. So now, if we want to go on the complexity scale for non-resident applications among all the western states, Montana is a 10 out of 10 for complexity. So you're going to want to pay attention on this one. Montana, for reasons I can't explain, we have written the book on how to make it complicated for non-residents and how to lay the pipe to you when it comes to what it's going to cost you. Unfortunately, as non-residents, when you apply, you're going to have to front a lot of your fees. And the dollar amount, pretty high. When you add in the license, the fee, the everything, for the elk deer combination is $1,245. For just the elk only is $1,055. And the deer is $741. And yeah, if you don't draw, you get most of that back. But there's still some upfront costs. You pay a transaction fee, a percentage of the total transaction, and then you pay like 20 cents or 25 cents per transaction. So you have three options as a non-resident of what you want to get. So you can do the deer only combo, or you can do the elk only combo, or you can do what's called the big game deer elk combo. So in the big game combo, you get both a deer tag and an elk tag. And the reason they throw combo onto all this is in that combination, in addition to your deer tag, you get upland bird hunting and you get fishing. I'm going to try my best to explain how Montana's system works for getting your general tag. And the reason we're going to focus first on the general tag is you can't even apply for a limited entry tag in Montana for deer and elk unless you've cleared the first hurdle of getting your general tag. So there's 17,000 that can be deer elk combos or elk only. Then there's 4,600 that are the deer only. You're the only people applying for those general tags, and there is a preference point system for this. This is why it seems so weird to me. Montana takes 75% of the deer and the elk deer combo tags, and they say, all right, the first 75% are going to go based on preference points, and we're going to start at the 3 level, fill all those, and we're going to drop down into the 2 level and fill anyone down to 2, and maybe we'll get them all filled, but the last few years they haven't. They take the other 25% of the tags and they start at 0 and they start working the way up from 0. Well, there's not enough tags for the number of applicants, so at 0 points, your odds are 70% or 75%, and you end up not even getting to the people with 1 point. So when you start from the top and come down, you run out of tags before you get to the folks with 1 point. And with the other 25% of the tags, and you start working from the bottom, you run out of tags before you get up to the folks with 1 point. So people with 1 point are like in this sandwich of no man's land. I know of no other state where a person with 0 points in a preference point system has better odds than somebody with 1 point. Oh man, it's so messed up. But anyhow, your general deer and elk tag let you hunt most of the state. And in Montana, one of the things people like is we have really long seasons. The 6 weeks of archery season starts September 2nd, ends October 15th. the rifle season, you can come back for these 5 weeks of rifle season if you didn't fill your tag in archery season. And those rifle dates are October 21st to November 26th. And then the muzzleloader season is, I thought it was 10 days, it's 9 days. This year it's December 9th through the 17th. So we got those of you who clear the first hurdle, now you go over into the limited entry draw, along with all of us residents. These are some of our best archery elk hunts, our best rifle elk hunts, our very few number of, the number of limited entry deer hunts we have is very, very low. And so the draw odds are really, really small. And you are capped at no more than 10%. Doesn't mean you're going to get 10% as non-residents, but you're capped at 10%. So when you're filling out your form online, Montana says, if you don't draw your limited entry tag, do you want to keep this general tag that you got? And most people will say yes. But a lot of people will say, no, I want a refund. You can return your Montana tag and get an 80% refund. After August 1st, it's a 50% refund. When all these folks return their tags because they didn't draw their limited entry, there's a reissue that goes on right after the first draw. Now, here's what happens later in the summer is a lot of these tags start getting returned and they get reissued also. So go out to the Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks website and you can get on that list and find out the details for how those get reissued. So you might look at your results and it'll say big game combo unsuccessful. And then you'll see another line that says big game reissue successful. There's two ways you might draw that deer tag, elk tag, or the deer elk combination tag. It's like, really? And then you've heard me talking about preference points over here for all of you non-residents trying to draw this general tag. Over here on the limited entry side, when you're competing with all of us residents, that's a bonus point system, right? Bonus points are like raffle tickets. And to make it even more complicated, about 7 or 8 years ago, we decided to square bonus points. And those only cost you 20 bucks. And the bonus points only apply over here in this limited entry draw for deer and elk. And maybe you draw there, maybe you luck out, but you're capped at 10%, so your odds get a whole lot less. I hope that explains the Montana system of how the draw works. The summary is you're applying for either a deer only, an elk only, or an elk deer combo. You have to clear your first hurdle of getting one of those three as a general tag before you can even be in the limited entry draws for the special deer and the special elk tags. And if you don't draw there, you can ask for a refund. If you do draw, Montana has about 7 million private acres enrolled in this block management program where landowners are paid to allow public hunting. And then we have 30 some million acres of federal BLM, federal Forest Service, and we have over 5 million acres of state trust land. Now your hunting license is going to give you access to these state trust lands. So there is a lot of acreage in terms of total acreage in Montana, public land to go hunt. But as a percentage of Montana, 2/3 of Montana is private and 1/3 of it is public. And as you start at the eastern border, it's mostly private, and as you work your way west, you get to the western border and it's mostly public. So there's a lot of places to hunt here. Montanans love to hunt, expect some crowded hunting. Maybe not Colorado level crowded, but still pretty crowded. If you're born after January 1, 1985, you need to have hunter education. If you're coming archery hunting, you got to have a bow hunter education, or you have to have a bow hunting license from some other state in a previous year to show that you can get your Montana archery stamp. Now, I'm going to give you my last editorial note about Montana deer right now. We had a terrible drought that went through 2018 to 2021. We had three and a half years of terrible drought in Montana. We lost a lot of the fawn crops in those years. So going into the hunting season last year of 2022, Many of our units in eastern Montana, deer numbers were down 50%. Then you have a hunting season where we had early terrible winter that consolidated the deer and made them more vulnerable, so we had a very high harvest last year. And now this terrible winter has continued. Deep snow, super cold temperatures. This winter is going to kill a lot of deer also. So if you apply here for either the deer tag or the deer elk combo tag, I'm just giving you that heads up that we're probably in a 20-year low point for deer in Montana. If between now and say mid-April, if we get some more blasted cold, our deer are, it's already bad. It's going to be really, really bad. So if you're applying here, I just want to set your expectations properly of what the deer picture looks like here. There you have it, folks. Pretty complicated. Sorry it's not more simple. I've been working on our legislature to try to simplify some of this, but you know, they usually don't pay a lot of attention to what would make life easier for non-residents. If you want way more details, if you want the strategy articles, if you want the draw odds, if you want everything related to deer and elk in Montana, go out to Go Hunt, sign up, use promo code RANDY. They'll give you $50 of credit in their gear shop when you sign up with promo code RANDY. And later on, we will talk about the other deadlines, which is May 1st for moose, goat, sheep, bison. And then the pronghorn deadline is June 1st. So what we've talked about today was only for the deer and elk deadline of April 1st. Don't miss the April 1st deadline. Good luck.